with everything I've been showing so far, I've been kind of looking down at the ground while I'm walking. There's a reason for that. This is rattlesnake territory and they blend in very well. So we need to be keeping an eye out as we're walking, making sure that none of them are hiding anywhere or just out and about trying to sunbathe while they can. So I'm here at Cibolo Gardens Event Center in Bulverde, Texas, just outside of San Antonio, a little bit north on 281. This used to be an old rock quarry that they have transformed into a nature preserve, and this seems to be the lowest point of the quarry where they were blasting and everything years ago, and it's turned into somewhat of a basin, it seems. Misconception people have with rattlesnakes, believe it or not, is they think they're always going to rattle. That's how you'll know when they're there, is because they'll be rattling. They'll let you know ahead of time that you're getting too close. That doesn't always tend to be the case. Actually, more times than not, they won't rattle. They will curl up, they will get ready to strike, and they won't rattle. Because yes, it does warn predators that they're there, but at the same time, a predator is probably going to use that as an opportunity to eliminate a potential threat, and they would rather be sneaky or stealthy than give away their position. But yeah, so even looking at the ground and everything, I might not hear them. So I need to make sure I'm able to see them. And actually, another extremely deadly snake that we have to worry about out here in the transition zone between the hill country and the coastal plains out here in Texas is the coral snake. It's pretty prevalent. Most people think coral snakes typically stay more towards the coast, hence coral snake. We also have king snakes as well. I don't know if you know the difference. It's the old saying, red and yellow kill a fella, red and black venom's lack, friend of Jack. The coral snake is the kill a fella snake. That's the one that's the red and yellow. If you see red and yellow, avoid it at all costs. And the king snake is the mimicry snake, the one that's going to try to fool you, and that's the red and black snake. I've actually not even in something as remote as this, it was a little bit more I guess urban public, was a wilderness park on the northwest side of San Antonio. Back whenever I lived over there, I used to do a lot of jogging on some old trails, and concrete sidewalk, everything. Like, I mean, this was a pretty urban trail, frequently traveled, see people all the time, pass people all the time. I was out jogging and I was focused. I was 2 miles into a 4-mile run, wasn't paying any attention. I was kind of in that jogging zone, and yeah, I noticed at the last second something caught my eye, and I looked down just in time to see a coral snake actually crossing the sidewalk. And I stopped. I leapt probably as high as I've ever leapt in my life, which adrenaline was flowing at the time, so I may have gotten like 6 inches off the ground as far as I know. But I jumped over it. I stopped. By the time I turned around, it had already coiled up, had its mouth open, and was ready to strike. And I took a picture of it a long time ago. I don't even know if I have it yet or not. If I still have the picture, I'll show it on the screen right now so you can see. And if you notice, the striping of it, red and yellow, are indeed touching. So that was 100% a coral snake. But that goes to show you that, like, it doesn't matter where you're at. You need to have situational awareness to make sure, because even in an urban environment, anywhere that there's grass, there could technically be a snake. So even while I'm talking to you right now, my eyes are focused on the ground. I'm looking, I'm watching, I'm keeping an eye out, because that one time that you don't, that one time you're not paying attention, that's going to be the time that you either end up in a body bag, or you end up in the hospital for weeks. So another quick little tip for everybody. Yeah guys, so for this campsite, I would definitely give this a 10 out of 10 as far as environmentally friendly. I think it's an amazing thing what the owners were able to do with this place, to take a rock quarry that's meant for destroying all the wildlife and the wilderness, like cutting through the trees and everything and literally blasting holes in the ground, to being able to go through and create a nature reserve, so that way everything can start to grow back and have wildlife and everything returning, having the trees and the grasses and everything come back. I think that's truly awesome. And I think the ownership, this isn't confirmed or not, but I think the owners might actually have a homestead here on the property somewhere. So I think that's also awesome as far as subsistence and everything of that nature. But it does look like the wind is starting to pick up. It's getting a little bit later. It's about 6:30 in the evening. So I think I'm going to actually start heading back to my campsite. I've got to pass through a bunch of other campsites. I'm not going to film while I'm walking back through the campsite, just because I'm trying to respect other campers' privacy. But I picked a camping spot that's further away from everybody. It's a little more secluded. Bird is really loud. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. But I picked a campsite that's a little bit further secluded, so that way I can film without ruining anybody else's camping experience. So I will get back to everybody. We'll get back to everything whenever I get to the campsite. Thanks. Alright guys, this is the cheapest tent on Amazon at the time of filming, which is April 22nd, 2023. Alright, so looking at the tent, first looks, it appears to be about 4 foot wide and 5 foot long. The specs on the Amazon page say, what is it, 4 foot long and 3.5 foot wide. So it's a little bit bigger than specs show, which isn't saying much. I'm a 6'2" man, so this is going to be a tight squeeze regardless. As far as the rain fly goes, this is the only thing that it has for a rain fly. There's actually a vent underneath, so we will see. It's supposed to be a chance of rain today, later this evening, I think at around 11 o'clock. So we will see how waterproof this thing actually is. It has one opening, one door, a bathtub floor, which is actually pretty high, to be honest. It looks about 6 or 7 inches tall. A little overkill for bathtub floors. You have one pocket over here, and that is going to be it for the inside. As you can tell, some threading's already coming loose just after putting it together. It has a mesh door that you can zip and unzip, as well as the standard door with a weather flap over the zipper. Alright guys, so a little bit has changed. Boiling some water right now just so that way I can try to get some coffee in me. I remember last time, obviously the pack looks way different than it did the last time I did my any kind of a camping trip or anything like that. And I also have a utensil, so that's pretty awesome. But it is only a fork, so I'm gonna have to stir my coffee with a fork. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's about, what time is it? 8 o'clock, right around 8 o'clock in the evening, and things are starting to wind down. Just got back from my little hike around, checking everything out. I've got the tent set up right over here. It's gonna be an interesting night. Hopefully it doesn't rain. The forecast is calling for rain around 11 o'clock, if I remember correctly. Let me see if I can double check. And since this is the cheapest tent that Amazon has, it's probably not waterproof, just being completely honest. And I mean, with the fly that's on it, I don't think there's anything waterproof about it. So at 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. there is an 18% chance of rain. It looks like it's pushed a little bit. At midnight there's a 33% chance of rain. At 1 a.m. there is an 80%. 2 a.m. there's an 85%. And then it starts dropping back down to around 50% at around 7 a.m. So I'm probably gonna end up getting wet. My iPhone is not waterproof, but these two cameras right here are, so that'll be awesome. If I do end up having to make a quick run to the truck, I will just sleep the rest of the night in the truck if needed. So, yeah. I am currently waiting for my water to boil. Once it boils, I'll be able to dump a couple of packets of this Nescafe 3-in-1 coffee into it, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the tent itself. So. Alright guys, I have my coffee mixed in and ready to go. Still pretty freaking hot, so I'm probably gonna wait a minute before I end up drinking that. But just kind of going over a little bit of some of the specs for the tent itself. See if I can pull it up real quick. So this is a 2-person tent by Wakeman. It includes rainfly carrying bag. It's called a lightweight outdoor tent for backpacking, hiking, or beach. It's got mesh ventilation door, removable rainfly, high quality poles, and water resistant material. We'll see about that. It's a 2-person design. It says it has a 9T polyester, and the rainfly is also a 9T polyester, and the bottom shell is a 120G by M2PE polyethylene. Ideal for warm weather and backyard camping. It's saying that the dimensions folded up, I guess inside the carrying bag, are 4 inches by 23 inches. The dimensions that it's giving for the tent itself are 40 inches tall, 57 inches wide, and 77 inches long. So 77 inches long comes out to 6.4 feet. I can tell you right now that is not a 6.4 foot long tent. It says it is lightweight, portable for all adventures. It comes in blue, green, orange, pink, red, and yellow. I would not recommend this tent because it is a very cheap tent. It was $18. The blue one is $18. It typically goes for, it looks like $25, because every other color, green, orange, pink, red, and yellow, are all $25. It says it is a 3-season tent, and the weight of the tent itself is saying is 3.3 pounds, which it is, it's a pretty lightweight tent. It does not weigh a lot. The description says, make your camping adventure a pleasant and memorable one by sleeping in the 2-person dome tent by Wakeman Outdoors. It'll definitely be a memorable one if you're caught in a rainstorm. I can tell you that right now. Features fiberglass poles, a rainfly, ventilation window, and an interior storage pocket to keep your contents neat and organized. Features and details. It's made of polyester and fiberglass. It's a lightweight 2-person dome tent with a large D-style door and has enough space for you and a friend. It definitely does not have enough space for even me, to be honest. The 2-man tent features fiberglass poles, removable fly, ventilation. We've already been over all of this. Trying to see if there's any other relevant information that it's giving on the Amazon page. Product care instructions. Make sure you machine wash it. And that's pretty much it. still pretty hot. So let's get up and go ahead and take a look at the tent itself and see what's going on, because it's getting a little dark. So this is the tent completely set up. It's pretty small. Matter of fact, it is extremely small. But the smallest part is the rain fly. If it rains tonight, I'm screwed. It's got a triple zipper for the mesh. One goes up, one goes right, one goes left. I will say this, I was able to fit my entire sleeping pad in here, as well as a backpack. It definitely could be smaller, not going to lie. It's got a very large bathtub floor around the edges. It's about 7 inches, and it's got a small vent at the top as well. Looking at these seams, it does not appear any of the seams are taped, which means that there are micro holes everywhere there was a stitch put in. So this thing will leak easily at all the seams. Typical tent stakes located at every single corner. I mean, there's not really much to say. This is a very cheap tent. So we will see how it goes if it decides to rain. Sorry everybody, I drank the coffee, wasn't paying attention, didn't even think about it, but I have water going. I'm about to start boiling water for my dinner. I'm gonna be having chicken fried rice, and I have a utensil this time, so it's gonna be awesome. I will catch y'all whenever this thing is done boiling. Alright guys, I am officially inside the tent. I wanted to go ahead and get everything in here before it started raining, just to make sure I can try to save whatever I can. I will say it is extremely claustrophobic. Let me see if I can flip this. Yeah, it is extremely claustrophobic in here. It does not seem like there is good ventilation. It is exactly what you pay for, which is a $18 tent. So I've got my food right here. I'm actually gonna let it cool off. It is still boiling hot, so I'm gonna let that cool off a bit, probably watch a movie or something, and hopefully make it through the night without having to haul ass to my truck, which is about I'd say probably a football field's length away. So I need to sprint, I can sprint, but a lot of stuff I'd have to get out if it starts raining. So we'll catch y'all later. Right guys, it is now 9:45 at night, 9:46 at night, and we officially have our first severe thunderstorm watch issued till 5 a.m. So here we go. All right, everybody, I want y'all to kind of see. That is where I'm located currently. I'll zoom in a little bit if it'll let me. So as I play this through, let's watch. Around 1:30, 2 o'clock, that gets pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie. This area is right next to a creek bed, and we're projecting about 3/4 of an inch to an inch, anywhere upwards of 2.5 inches of rain. This tent is not weatherproof. I can already tell by looking at it that it's going to leak. It's going to not hold up to inclement weather. But I am actually going to pack up and head back. I'm still, another severe weather alert just hit my phone. But I am actually going to pack up, load everything up, and I will set up the tents at my house. That way I can show you how bad it actually is, but I do not want to get caught out here. So I'm going to pack everything up and I will talk to y'all again in the truck. All right, guys. Wow. I have everything packed up. It's already starting to drizzle a little bit. I could have stayed a little bit longer, but I don't know how it is in other places. Typically, whenever you see red in Texas, that means hail or something of that nature. We don't really get too many reds that aren't hailstorms in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And I wanted to see if this tent was waterproof. I can still do that at my house, but it was a good 150 yards. And I have a lot of gear. I actually have my Jackery. I don't know if y'all can see that back there. My Jackery solar battery. Yeah, that thing cannot get wet. It'll be gone if it gets wet. So kind of didn't think it through, but kind of did, because I wanted it to rain a little bit just to be able to see. But after actually opening the tent, that was my first time ever opening the tent and looking through everything. But after looking through it, like, there's no way that thing would hold water. Actually, it would hold water. That's the one thing it would do, is it would allow plenty of water in and it would hold all of the water. So I'm gonna take it to my house. I'm gonna set it up in my backyard. I'll do like a time lapse and everything with my actual waterproof cameras, so y'all can see the storm and how bad it gets and everything like that. I'll try to set it up overnight, see if that'll work, so we can still test out the tent without me ended up getting flooded in, because that's the other thing, is that this place is right next to a place. It's called Cibolo Creek. Yeah, it's a creek, but that thing runs all the way east to west to east, along the north part of San Antonio, and through, of course, Cibolo and Shirts and all of that. And it's not a continuous creek, but whenever they're calling for 1 inch to 2 inches of rain, that thing is going to flood. And this, you have to go over 2 low water crossings just to get to this place. So that's the other thing, is I would not have any way to any solid shelter to stay in, and I wouldn't have any way to leave until after the water's gone. So I wanted to go ahead and get out while I could, just to be on the safe side of things, because yeah, I don't want to be stranded. So anyway, guys, let's see if we can get that. The next time you see me, I'll probably be at my house setting up the tent in the backyard in the rain, probably. So catch y'all in a minute. All right, well, after an amazingly horrendous turn of events, here we go. This is my backyard. Lighting is terrible because I don't have any. So I was able to stake the tent back out. We have everything. The quote-unquote rain fly is up. It has been zipped completely shut. It has been restaked. It has been off and on, sprinkling, but no rain yet. No steady rain, so any water that is inside later is going to be from rain getting in. So yeah, we will try to salvage this video. Thanks. Alright guys, so obviously it is the next day. We are going to check on it after all the rain. It has been pouring now currently 50-something degrees, and it was 80s last night. One thing I will say, the tent held up. It was blowing things all over the place. There's so much wind everywhere. Just to kind of give you an example of how much rain there was, this thing was completely dry last night, and that's how much rain filled up, probably 3 or 4 inches. So let's take a look inside and see how wet it is. You can see that there is some rain condensation still left over on the outside. Hopefully there's not any on the inside. I may have to change my stance on this tent, but I highly doubt it. Just unzipped, unzip, unzip. All right, so looking at the inside, there is water everywhere. This thing is definitely not waterproof in the least bit. Like, I don't know if y'all can see that standing puddle of water over there. The sleeping bag I left in here, somewhat soaked. Yeah, this thing is completely full of water. And I have a sneaking suspicion it's because the rain fly is almost non-existent. Could also be because the seams are not taped in the least bit, or just the fact that the quote-unquote outer fly doesn't have a bottom zipper to hold it shut, and also the fact that it's only that short and it was blowing sideways. The stakes are the tiny puny stakes, and they're literally almost coming out of the ground as well. So I think it performed about as well as I expected it to, so can't really be too upset about that. Next time I'll find something else that's extremely cheap and test it out. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank y'all for watching and staying to the end. I know it was kind of a little bit of everything, and it ended up being another shit show, but that's probably the reason why most of y'all are even watching this channel right now, is because everything I do is basically a shit show. So if y'all enjoyed the video, be sure to like, leave a comment down below, let me know what you liked about the video. Subscribe if you want to see more screwed up content. But that's going to be it. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Thanks.